Hello and welcome to another weekend episode of We Can Do It Better. Today is December 5th. It's 3 o'clock. This is our episode 14. We weren't on last week because we were
munching.
we were at Thanksgiving. I was eating
Something vegetarian, right?
Yeah, I guess I was eating mashed potatoes. That definitely weren't dropped on the floor.
I'm a stuffing guy. I like stuffing a lot.
But yeah, so we have a lot of news to cover, a lot of stuff.
Gotta
because
get
we have
right into it.
we have 2 weeks to catch up on, and
We're gonna smash it into one episode. We do have one more episode that will drop next Thursday before we go on winter break. So just as a fair warning, I will do some sort of fun little recap of the our year because we did 15.
Yeah, year in review.
Yeah, by the end of this, we're gonna have 15 episodes. So it'll be a good little semester finale before we've got a lot of exciting projects that we'll get into next semester. So let's hop right in with Multiverse of Movies. Jonah, take it away.
Yeah, so starting off first, the trailer for Mission Impossible has dropped. That's going to be coming in May, right?
And it looks really good. I was telling you that I had never seen. I haven't seen Mission Impossible past the first one because I got scared when the elevator crushed that agent.
Yeah. I think I've seen all of them, or I might have like skipped 2 and 3, but I don't know. But yeah,
so you don't need to watch 2 and 3.
No, to understand any Mission Impossible movie, really all you need to do is watch the previous one.
Okay.
But like most of them I've heard are worth watching. And the ones I've seen have been really good. Okay. I don't know. I might see the rest of them, but yeah, this one looks exciting. This is the final, maybe.
Well, if it's called Final Reckoning, I would really hope so. Well, have they gone to space yet?
No.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
They're gonna do a space one. That's when a franchise is really milking it, is when they go to space.
No, I think this is Tom Cruise's last one. I think that there have been talks of like, oh, are we gonna get someone to like be the lead after Tom Cruise? But it says final, so I guess this might be the final Mission Impossible movie. I like these. I think of like the spy of like those type of spy movies. The Mission Impossible ones are my favorite.
Yeah. I enjoy spy themes, so I'm sure if I get back into Mission Impossible, I'll probably be into it.
The first one is great, and the past couple have been really great as well.
Yeah.
So I would recommend it. And the trailer looks amazing. Yeah, it's just like
I got goosebumps, and I didn't even know why.
Yeah, the last one was really only like half of a story. It was they called Dead Reckoning Part 1. So I was like, oh, this is really good. I can't wait to see the next part. And now they're calling it Final Reckoning. I don't know if they're gonna if that's because like they scrapped part of the story, or I don't know.
It sounds more definitive when it's final.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's gonna be in May. There's gonna be a lot of other stuff happening in May, but I'm excited. It's a good trailer. There's a lot of Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt running.
I was laughing at that.
Almost a laughable amount. But I don't know. It's a thing. Tom Cruise like runs in all of his movies, and they do better apparently when he runs in them.
I guess he's against the clock always, right? Transportation is not reliable anymore.
But even in like non-spy movies, like in like some of the rom-coms, they just include a Tom Cruise. He's
gotta be running.
Yeah, he looks really good running. Like it's a good run. But yeah, there's almost a laughable amount of that. But I don't know. It's fun. You like it. It's a fun action movie, but it's also like good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking out for that. That's gonna be May, and also in May, I believe in May. Is a live action adaptation of Snow White.
And you hadn't gotten around to the trailer until about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I preface this by saying I wasn't super excited from it, but you like Rachel Zegler.
Yeah,
so.
The actor playing Snow White, Rachel Zegler. I know her from. She was in the West Side Story, and also
I know her from West Side Story.
Yeah, but mainly the Hunger Games sequel that came out about a year ago.
Yeah.
I guess it would be about a year ago in like another week.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that. I really like the Hunger Games movies. I especially love the book that it was adapted, and I think it was a great adaptation of that book, and I think she did a really good job on that, and I think that she's a phenomenal singer. So I was like, oh, yeah, I want to like see her do more like acting and singing and stuff, and I was like, it's a weird,
But when you've got Gal Gadot cast as the evil queen, which that's fine
I was like,
casting,
that's weird.
But I'm like,
sure.
Like I would hope. I guess the evil queen wasn't a bad looking person in the animation, but I'm like, surely you could find someone who's like really trying to become the fairest of them all, right?
I don't know. I mean, I don't
like, and by fairness, is this like fairness as in beauty or fairness as in like equal and just?
Definitely the first one. I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't like have a huge thing for like I don't have like a huge deep love for Snow White. I was mostly probably going to see it because I'm a big fan of Rachel Zegler, and I also think Gal Gadot is a good actor. So I'll probably watch it, especially if I get movies
you've got
for free
the
at the
Seven Dwarves.
Yeah, the CGI looked really bad, and the whole trailer just didn't look great, and the dwarfs I don't know, they did like CGI actors instead of just like people with dwarfism, which like
Disney,
a lot of
Disney has a huge CGI problem.
Yeah, and and I've heard like people with dwarfism, like Peter Dinklage, he said is like, hey, if you're gonna like remake this, just use like actors with dwarfism, which like it can be done. People have done it before. They did it in Willow, like
oh yeah.
And just like overall, it didn't look great, but it's like I guess I'll see it. During the summer, I work in a movie theater. I can see movies for free, so I'll probably see it. And if not, I'll see it later on Disney Plus. But
it's just disappointing. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a trailer. Maybe it'll look better.
I hope so.
In other news, Wicked Part 1, we both saw.
We not together, but it was. It
was great. It was
really good.
I've never seen the play.
Okay, I haven't either. That was.
I've never seen the play, but like I did know some of the songs, and it's a great movie. Like unfortunately, it's only like half of the play. It's only like half of the musical. It's not the whole story. Apparently, they have part two done,
which is supposed to release November of 2025.
Yeah, but it's really great. The singing's great. The acting's great. I didn't know. Ariana Grande like had the acting stuff that she did.
Well, she was a Disney Channel star.
Yeah.
Too. So,
but like that was like
she had gone into a career for music for quite a while. So yes, she was returning to acting, and she did a really good job. So, no, it was like I was familiar with Wicked. Like I just knew the premise, and it was supposed to, dive into the backstory of Elphaba essentially, and. I was interested. My girlfriend really was the reason why I probably went to go see it. Like, yes, we're talking about it now and it's good for the show, but I was blown away because it was a spectacle.
I've only heard really good things. It looked amazing. All of the sets were amazing. The choreography was great. Ariana Grande, like I said, did a good job. Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba was also amazing. Mm-hmm. Amazing singing too. Jeff Goldblum was funny. I love Jeff Goldblum. Such a great Oz.
Yeah,
I think like that's perfect casting.
I agree. I mean,
and like he's done like that character kind of before, but it's like just like let Goldblum do his stuff.
Right. What was?
In Thor Ragnarok.
Right.
Thor 3.
I know. I'm trying to think. Not the Collector. It was the
Grandmaster.
The Grandmaster. I knew it was a grand something, but yeah, no, I feel like he's very good at playing like those similar sort of evil characters, but they've got a ton of charisma.
Yeah, and I just one thing that blew me away was just how great it looked. Like
Oz was spectacular.
Yeah, Oz was spectacular. Like everything, because like I'm not as much of like a film history person as you are, because like you're a film major, but like. Wizard of Oz was just like amazing. It's like, it was like in the 30s, and like they had all of this colorful stuff, all of these like like breakthroughs and like scenes, like and like sets and all that stuff.
And they wanted to do it again.
And like they lived up to that because like everything was like interesting and like all of like and everything just looked great. And from like the trailer, there's like where it's like, are they just gonna like super desaturize it? And they didn't.
Yeah,
it looked amazing. And like the musical numbers were great, like the final scene. Which this isn't a spoiler. It's a book. Actually, I won't say, but it's great. Go see it if you like fun.
Yeah, if you don't like fun.
If you don't like fun, don't see it.
Don't
If you're a
bother.
party pooper, don't see it.
Yeah. Anyways, we've got a live action Lilo and Stitch on the horizon, and do I want to talk about the special look that I showed you? Okay, no, I won't.
We saw the teaser, and
I think Stitch looks good. I grew up loving Stitch. I had pretty decent size stuffed animal of Stitch, and like I like seeing Stitch like that was like that's what Stitch would look like if he was real. Like he was blue and furry, and he's got the teeth and the ears. Like I'm like that's a good looking Stitch. If you look at that and you look at the 7 dwarves from the Snow White, you can kind of see that they're done by the same company, but also just like Stitch looks way better than the dwarves.
Yeah, they're also. Yeah, I don't know. I'll if people like it, I'll see it.
I mean, I'll go see it just because
I've seen like some of the show and like the movie when I was like a kid. I don't really remember any of it.
Yeah, well, that's okay. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to report in on. We haven't even gotten our first look at Lilo, which I feel like is weird that you would show.
Well, Stitch is like the stuffed animal.
I know, but like it's called Lilo and Stitch, and we haven't seen Lilo. Like I've seen Lilo from leaked set photos, but I haven't seen Lilo on screen yet. So she looks adorable. Like, I mean, it's going to be like, they're nearly the same size, which is going to be hilarious. But anyways, we've got kind of exciting casting announcement. Nothing is set in stone yet, but Michael Fassbender is set to return as Magneto in the solo Scarlet Witch movie.
Is this a rumor or like a...
This is by a very reputable source that I get a lot of my news from.
That's weird. Yeah.
Because like I heard that this solo Scarlet Witch movie isn't on the MCU timeline right now.
But I feel like we've heard a lot of stuff about that.
We have.
Like, I heard about like Jean Grey.
Yes, that's right. We're gonna have Jean Grey and Magneto potentially in this Scarlet Witch movie, which this is probably gonna be the one we talk about mostly for this segment because there's a lot of retconning that might happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of baggage around Scarlet Witch.
Because like you look at Scarlet Witch and she has biological parents that we saw in Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah, and
in WandaVision. I guess we saw them.
Yeah, we saw them in WandaVision.
We were aware of her biological parents in Age of Ultron. We saw them in WandaVision. And so we know that, the Scarlet Witch is human. Not so much of mutant, but rather acquired
like
the powers.
Yeah.
Like Wanda Maximoff was human at one point.
Yeah, and she's like but she also was like prophesized to be a witch, like
right?
The Scarlet Witch
from the Darkhold, and see, this is the part where I think a lot of people are. It makes sense why a lot of people fell off Marvel is because now you do have to watch nearly everything to kind of get it.
Don't. I mean, like I understand.
If you're gonna go, there are certain things because Agatha all along did a decent job explaining more of what happened to Scarlet Witch after Multiverse of Madness and stuff like that. And it's just like people do kind of have to do at least a little bit of homework. You can't you can walk into all of Phase 1 Marvel movies with no previous knowledge and be like, this is fun. Second phase, you're like, okay, I might need to watch a couple movies before that. But now, if you're in the same position we are, we're locked into Marvel probably for life.
Yeah,
probably. I don't see myself falling off because it's not like anything they're making is outwardly bad. But we're locked in this for life. We're going to consume every single piece of Marvel stuff, which is not the same. Like, I'm selective about Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
I love the original trilogy. I love The Mandalorian. I love Rogue One and some of the, spin-off stories, but that's and this might be kind of very similar to like James Gunn's DCU because I did hear that he's planning on making his universe more of a Star Wars formatted universe than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where it's just not everything's going to be subsequent of each other. Like you can have stuff take place before, most of the heroes. You can have stuff take place way into the future. You can have little side stories and spinoffs and all this sort of stuff. Whereas, with Marvel, it's like everything follows one thing. Like everything is a consequence of another, essentially.
Yeah.
And the Marvel shows are just kind of like little branches off of what, Marvel Disney is putting out into the box office. And I'm not mad about that. I will consume Marvel stuff probably until the day I die. Unless Marvel does some heinous decision, then I'm probably a for lifer. Because if I've been locked onto Marvel for 21 years of my life, I don't see myself going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
And there's my little soapbox.
Yeah, I don't know. The Scarlet Witch movie, we've been hearing a lot of stuff because like she already went through a couple character arcs.
Right.
And bringing in Magneto. Okay, for those of you unaware, in the comics, what happened was Scarlet Witch was not raised by Magneto, who like for most of publication history from like the 60s to like 2013 or whatever was her biological father. Mm-hmm. She was raised by other people, and then Magneto showed up and was like, "Hey, I'm your dad. You want to like be terrorists with me?" And then they were, and then like she like became an Avenger, and then stuff, and then a lot way more complicated stuff that I don't want to get into at the point.
Fair enough.
But like Scarlet Witch has already gone through some of like the like 90s, 80s, some of like the 2000s as part of her story arc.
Yep. And it's like I'm sure they're gonna figure out some really smart way to do this, especially since the Scarlet Witch movie probably won't happen till after Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they can find a really smart way, and maybe we can finally see Scarlet Witch in a happier environment because like, yes, I'm aware that Scarlet Witch is a character full of trauma. But, like, at least let's give her a little bit of happiness. Like, even Peter Parker gets more of a break than Scarlet Witch.
That's, yeah, sure, I guess. Scarlet
Witch lost everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Peter Parker did too. All right, I don't know.
I don't know. It is weird because this would be a really weird place to introduce the mutants and the X-Men.
They're really close in age, too. Like, Elizabeth Olsen and Michael Fassbender are definitely not a mother or father-daughter age gap.
Well, more just so like there's such a weird relationship in my head and through a lot of X-Men fans' heads to Scarlet Witch, and that character in the MCU in the MCU even has so much baggage. Mm-hmm. It's just like a weird place to introduce like whatever the next phase is, if that ends up being what this is.
Yeah. So
I don't know. There's also like the Michael Fassbender isn't Jewish thing, and if you're like casting like as someone who's 50, is like, are you gonna like keep that part as part of his character? And if you're not, then like you're not being like faithful to like Stan and Jack and Chris Claremont and all those people were like who made it like part of his character. And like if you're not doing that, then why are you even using?
I'm just telling you, they might add some white hair or gray hair, and say that he's nearly 100 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. If they get good people around it, I'll trust it. But yeah. All right, we're moving on. You have some Kraven the Hunter.
So I've been at least intrigued by Kraven, not because I think it's going to be a good movie, not at all. But it was just the fact that at the end of Morbius, Morbius was collecting a roster of villains to kill Spider-Man. This sounds like the dumbest sentence coming out of my mouth right now. So Morbius traveled to find the Vulture, which, yes, exists in MCU canon. So how Morbius was able to jump from MCU canon...
Post-credit scenes.
I don't know. I really don't know. But he's apparently trying to build a team, and I think Kraven might be a part of that team. And when I first saw the trailer for Kraven... you got a small glimpse of Rhino. And I don't hate... Wait, did you not know that?
Yeah, no, I like the way Rhino looks.
I do. I think if you're gonna do Rhino, that's how you do Rhino. I'm very happy with how Rhino looks because, yes, a guy in a rhinoceros costume is not gonna cut it, right? That doesn't make sense. So, if you want to, slap a horn on a guy, make his skin super rocky and, make him super strong, that's a great idea. But this looks like every single other bad Sony movie we've gotten. And you were telling me this. I saw this on the internet too. But the director was like, please don't use your previous bias to, as a reason not to see my movie. And I'm just like, and so Sony dropped the first 8 minutes a couple days ago.
Is that do you're more plugged into like the movie world than me? Is that a normal thing to do?
Yeah. I've actually
8 minutes. Drop 8 minutes.
I've seen a lot of studios drop the first 8 minutes. I think, especially with Sony, I think they've done that a lot with, their movies. I think they did it for Madam Web too. And I think I instead of paying attention in my finance class, I was watching the first 8 minutes of Madam Web, which was a horrible decision and time I went back from my life. Anyways, so yes, I saw the first 8 minutes, and do you want me to tell you kind of what happens, or do you want me to leave it?
No, I think that there are probably enough people who want to.
Okay.
Wait.
Well, needless to say, it's already confusing enough when you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson cast as Kraven, because he was the same person that played Quicksilver. So, if you're talking about bringing Kraven over into the MCU, potentially, then you're going to have nearly a doppelganger. And who knows? Maybe Scarlet Witch and Kraven the Hunter will cross paths, and, Scarlet Witch is like, hey, you look like my brother. And, now Kraven is trying to kill the Scarlet. I don't know. This sounds dumb.
Okay.
But this is Sony's fault. This is all Sony's fault. And their animation department is wonderful. I don't know why they dropped the ball on this so often. Like, when was the last time there was a good Sony Marvel movie that was live action?
Spider-Man 2. I
know.
Or Amazing Spider-Man 1.
That's like it's like getting the best of the worst, right? That is the best of the worst. It's Amazing Spider-Man 2.
No, Spider-Man 2.
Oh, I was thinking Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay,
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was
okay. Wait,
kind of weird.
Are you gonna hold Spider-Man 3 over Amazing Spider-Man 2, or Amazing Spider-Man? Like, do you think Spider-Man 3 is worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2?
No.
Okay.
Actually, no. I think both of them are like both weirdly. I think there's more good in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. But it goes to show that Marvel desperately needs to, have Sony in a chokehold until they pass out the rights back to Marvel, because this is like, I love Kraven. I think Kraven is a great character. And I would love to see Tom Holland Spider-Man go up against Kraven.
Do you think Kraven works without Spider-Man?
No.
That's your problem. I don't know. I'll see it. I'll drag you to it in a week.
You can try.
But,
It just, like, yes, I understand that Kraven can, he can hunt. He can hunt. And having Kraven hunt the Rhino is an interesting concept.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
I figure that's what the premise is gonna be.
All right,
but it's disappointing. I'm just straight up disappointed. I don't want to go see Kraven. I don't want to give Sony money.
Well, that leads me to the final question before we change segments. Do you think this movie is gonna have a Spider-Man cameo in it?
Yeah. Probably.
All right. We heard it from Grant, and we will check back.
Please, I hope I'm proved wrong. Honestly,
see.
I hope Spider-Man doesn't appear, but
I want to see Spider-Man.
Whatever.
I'm simple. I'm a simple person. I like seeing Spider-Man.
Do you want to start off with? I kind of monologued about Kraven. You want to talk about this new exciting?
Well,
chapter?
I'll start with what I'll introduce it, but I think you know more than me.
Okay.
So we have had rumors that there's going to be a Young Avengers or a Champions TV show or movie, likely TV show, but that's really all I know. And it would be the team that we have now with like Ironheart,
right?
Ironheart, Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye,
potentially Hulkling, Wiccan. Yeah, it would be Wiccan.
Yeah, maybe Wiccan, and then Stature, aka Cassie Lang.
So yeah,
I like those characters. I'll say I'm excited if this happens.
It's a good character roster, and if you've seen the Disney Plus shows, you'll be like, all right, I'd watch that, because that's where I'm at right now. It's like I'm not like jumping out of my seat like I am for Daredevil Born Again, but I'm like with Champions, I'm like, all right, sure, why not? Because yes, the Young Avengers have been pretty prominent in the late or early 2010s. Would you say they kind of rose to fame around then?
Really, since like the mid 2000s.
Okay,
I think.
Because yes, everybody loves, because they're essentially just younger. I mean, a lot of them are younger versions of, or younger mantles of Avengers that we know and love. And I think initially they were going to do a movie about it, and I don't think the movie would have done well, because for people who don't watch Disney Plus, and I don't know how many people watch Disney Plus, but I think that a lot of people would be lost. So I think them doing a show would be the best possible move, because most of the characters you've introduced under the Young Avengers umbrella have been Disney Plus people. Ms. Marvel was a part of it. You had Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. You had Wiccan, from Agatha all along. So you have a decent starting amount of people who can make up the Young Avengers. I just don't see this playing well at the box office, because you could bring these heroes to the big screen, and a lot of people will look at them and be like, who the heck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but also they did that with Avengers. Maybe they can just like...
They did that with Avengers, but you had Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and Hulk essentially come out before the 2012 Avengers. So at least there was box office set up before we got the Avengers.
Yeah.
Whereas Cassie Lang was pretty much the only person who got box office set up before an initial... So anyways, not super thrilled about that, but again, I'll see it if it, ever makes it out of production. So we'll have to see.
I hope that happens.
I know you love the Young Avengers.
Yeah. In other news, the finale of Superman and Lois came this weekend. We're not going to cover it, one, because it just happened, and I'm sure a lot of people are catching up. And also, I'm not totally caught up. I've only watched like the first half of the final season.
I've seen a lot of Superman stuff flood, like a lot of CW Superman stuff flood my Instagram. So I might know stuff.
Yeah. Don't tell me. I've specifically been like avoiding.
Yeah. But it seems like after seeing all these clips, I'm like, maybe I should
it's
watch
a good
this.
show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. I haven't been as big of a fan of season 4 as I have the other seasons, but I also haven't finished it, so what do I know? Yeah, you've also probably seen a lot of headlines like, this is the end of the Arrowverse. That's not true. Yeah. This was not set in the Arrowverse, because Superman was like Superman and Steel are the only like superheroes in this world. But it is the end of the DCCW era for the foreseeable future. There are no more DCCW projects. I resent that yes from you, because there have been a couple. Since Smallville in like in the early 2000s, CW has had at least one show going on to varied success. Some of them have been great, like the first couple seasons of Flash or Supergirl, and some of them have been bad. But it is an end of an era, and it is something that I think is relatively unique among superhero fandom, of which is like long-standing like soapy style, superhero dramas that are like, but in who knows if we'll ever get that again. So there is like stuff to mourn, but also mileage for that stuff may vary. I didn't even finish all of Flash. But yeah, so that is just something to pay memorial, and thanks to everyone who worked on those projects, some of which we love.
I loved the first 2 seasons of Flash.
First 2 seasons of Flash was great,
and I did like Legends of Tomorrow.
I fell off Legends of Tomorrow after the first 2 seasons, but Supergirl was a great show.
Supergirl was pretty good.
Supergirl was a great show. Superman and Lois, I think, is a great show. Not that any of them are perfect. Arcane season 3, Act 3. I mean, Arcane season 2, Act 3 came out.
Okay, I was like, when did Arcane get a season 3?
Yeah. It hasn't, and it probably won't. Okay. Because season 2 is supposed to be the end. That came out like 2 Saturdays ago. But we didn't have a show last week. This is a great show. They wrapped it up great. I know that some people have mixed feelings about it, that it wasn't as good as the finale to season 1, but I think that those people are just party poopers. I think it was great. A lot of the character arcs ended in satisfying ways. We got like a lot of the stuff that we wanted to see, and just the animation stayed incredible, like the best I've ever seen. And they did fully finish the story. We also got more like Kate vibe, which we wanted. And I can't recommend the show enough. It is great. It is maybe the best show I've seen this year. But I've also said that about a couple shows. The other show I've said that about is Interior Chinatown, which is something that I saw over break.
Yeah.
That is it's based off of like a novel by I think it's Charles Yu. And then it caught my eye because Taika Waititi was working on it too, and it had an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. star, Chloe Bennett. I was like, oh, I'll watch this, and it blew my mind. It is a subgenre that I really like, which is people are trapped in like a fiction. It's about a character, and he's like trapped inside of an 80s and then like a 90s and 2000 and then like a 2000s police procedural. And it's really good. I can't recommend watching it enough. It sticks the landing. It like throws you for a loop the whole time, and it tells a good story with characters that I think is an important story. So I would recommend that if you like that. If you like that kind of stuff. If not, do whatever. I'm not your boss.
Now I think was it a text from you this morning or last night?
This morning.
It was this morning, and I was expecting Creature Commandos to come because Creature Commandos came out today. I wasn't really. I usually would think, oh, they're gonna do an afternoon, evening release. No, did they drop it at midnight?
I think they dropped it at like 3 a.m. or whatever.
That's crazy.
I woke up early this morning and then I watched it. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, because right now, last time 96% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's solid. I think that's a little high.
Audience gave it 84. Would you agree with that?
I think it's good. I mean, I don't think it...
That sounds like an 84 in your book.
I don't think it's... I mean, I like James Gunn stuff.
Right.
I don't think that it is significantly... Because, like, that is saying that it is better than the other James Gunn stuff, which I don't really think it is.
How does this rank with the Suicide Squad?
I think it's better.
You think it's better than the Suicide Squad?
No, I don't think it's better than, like,
Ooh,
his other stuff.
Well, critics think it's better than the
Suicide Squad. I just disagree. Like,
right.
I have no problem. I've had, like, no problems with any of his stuff. I just don't think that this is significantly better. It feels like a long movie that's, like, broken into, like, 22-minute chunks. Okay. But also just, like, I think his live-action stuff has... And I like animation, but I think his live-action stuff has just been... more mind-blowing.
So, like, with me and my love for monsters, this is going to be right up my alley. Right?
Yeah, I think you like it.
Okay.
There's, like, really cool Frankenstein stuff in there.
Okay. Because I heard David Harbour is playing Eric Frankenstein.
Yeah. The voice, I will say, the voice acting is great.
I'm really excited because we've got a pretty good cast for Creature Commandos, don't we?
Yeah. Frank Grillo stays great as Rick Flag Sr., Of course, Viola Davis is amazing as Amanda Waller. She's not like in it that much so far, but like she delivered. I would expect her
to be in too much either.
Well, she's just like the best ever.
Right, she's busy. She's got a whole plate of Homeland Security stuff to take care of.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Viola Davis just absolutely kills it as Amanda Waller again. Alan Tudyk's great as Dr. Foster. It's very funny. And then the other characters like are great. Especially like Bride of Frankenstein. We got like we focus a lot on that character in the second issue. That's cool. Great. Yeah, we also saw I don't know. I will say I do have a favorite character so far. That's GI Robot. He loves.
GI Robot does look really fun.
Yeah, that's voiced by Sean Gunn.
That is Sean Gunn?
I was playing him and Weasel.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's worth a watch, especially if you like James Gunn stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna love it.
Okay. I'm excited.
I do think it is a good show.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
But I just don't think. But for instance, I don't think it's better than Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to I don't want to harp on negatives. I don't think that there's necessarily anything super wrong with it. I just think those numbers are soft.
All right. So this is gonna be where Grant kind of rambles about video games.
Yeah. We are switching into Game Over, and I asked a favor this time. I asked you to explain what Marvel Rivals is to me.
Okay. So no problem.
And
I've got plenty of news sources to back me up. So I'm fact checking myself as I go along.
Okay. And Marvel Rivals drops tonight at midnight, right?
Or
tomorrow night.
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So first of all, I'm gonna cover. Okay. So first of all, it's going to. I'm gonna answer your question first about what Marvel Rivals is. Have you played Overwatch?
No, I think I did it must have been 10 years ago now. 9 years ago.
Okay. So do you remember the playstyle of that?
Vaguely. It was I was in middle school.
Okay.
That was a really long time ago.
Okay. So it's essentially it's going to be like a 5v5 battle game.
Okay.
All right. And you're going to have a whole roster of Marvel characters to choose from. Now, this is important because I had to bring up Overwatch because currently the head of Overwatch head of Blizzard Games who makes Overwatch is fuming over Marvel Rivals because he said that it's a complete ripoff from Overwatch. But this is the thing to keep in mind. The first Overwatch game, super successful. I poured hours into that game. And then Overwatch decided to make a second game, which wasn't necessary at all. And then they add in a bunch of characters and more microtransactions. And it's getting over the top. I dropped out so early from Overwatch 2 because it was not worth sticking around. Meanwhile, Marvel was concocting a game that, yes, feels like it's pretty ripped off of Overwatch. However, it's got what's looking like more than 40 playable Marvel characters.
That's cool.
At your disposal, essentially. You've got all of the original Avengers. The Fantastic Four are set to arrive soon.
I saw Cloak and Dagger, which is
Cloak and Dagger are going to be a part of it.
Is Captain Marvel in it?
Captain Marvel is not yet in it yet. But you've got Scarlet Witch, you got Moon Knight, you got Punisher. I know you don't like Punisher, but you got Doctor Strange. They keep adding people in. Just when you think that, they're done, right? No.
There are a lot of Marvel characters.
Right. And this is something that I've got a lot of respect for Marvel for. Yes, there are microtransactions in the game. Yes, you can use your real-life money to pay for stuff in the game. But also, you can play the game, get the in-game currency, and buy the expensive skins that otherwise you would have to pay money for.
Okay.
You don't have to be forced to do microtransactions. Yes, if you want to get something as soon as it comes out, you can absolutely get it if you want to. I'm personally looking forward to the Wolverine skin from Deadpool and Wolverine. They took that same model and they're making it into a skin. They're also doing the same for the Guardians of the Galaxy, because you've got you'll have Groot, Rocket, Star-Lord, and Mantis as playable characters, and they'll be in their classic red and blue outfits from the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie. You'll have Loki when he's the god of stories, Loki. You'll have Scarlet Witch from the Multiverse of Madness. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really big. So it's supposed to launch at, 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So buckle up. I am going to be playing it as soon as it drops. But yeah, I mean, do you have any other questions? It's essentially it's a massive multiplayer game. Oh, it is cross-platform, which means cool. You will be able to play it with other people
if they have a different
all consoles.
Like if someone has it.
I'm going to double check real quick. Yes, it is crossplay. Yes, crossplay features. So it should release on Xbox, PlayStation, Steam. I don't know about the Switch. I haven't seen anything about the Switch yet, but you will be able to play with all your friends across all the platforms, which will be nice because can I count on you to potentially play Marvel Rivals with me so we can do a full breakdown? Maybe not next episode, but maybe over break. Would you want to play some Marvel Rivals with me?
I think count on me is a stretch, but I'll try it out.
Okay. You'll at least do a couple games?
Yeah.
See if you have fun.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm busy with I got stuff I need to do.
That's fine.
And I'm not much of a gamer.
That's fine. But yeah, no, Marvel Rivals is set to dethrone Overwatch essentially, which I'm fine with. Overwatch has gotten greedy, and is it a good idea for me to be bashing?
I think you can say what you want within reason.
Freedom of speech. Anyways, so yeah, no, I'm so excited. It'll be a fun time. I've got a lot of friends who are already, gearing up and getting ready to play, so we'll have fun. Anyways, also tonight, I think. Wait, no, today's the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. Fortnite will be dropping 3 new Spider-Verse skins. All right. The first one is going to be Peter B. Parker, who is not the blonde Peter Parker from the Spider-Verse stuff. That's something we had to talk about earlier. He is wearing his pink robe from Across the Spider-Verse when he's got the kid, he's got Mayday, I think they call her. I'm not sure. I hope Mayday is a back bling, but that also feels really messed up if you've got a toddler on your back and people are shooting at you. But he does take his kid through danger, so.
Yeah, but it's 29. It's the future. Everything's okay,
I guess. But we've also got super faithful adaptions into the skins from Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Punk.
Yeah, you showed me those.
They look really well done. Spider-Punk especially, of course, it's hard to mess up Spider-Man Noir when the color scale is just black and white, but Spider-Punk looks animated. He looks just as standout-ish as he does in Across the Spider-Verse, because his aura is just different, I guess, right? He's not walking around he's very animated. It's hard to pinpoint.
He has a low pixel rate.
Right.
Frame rate.
Yes, the lower frame rate. That's what I'm talking about. I'm the film person. I should have film rate in my vocabulary. But yeah, both of them look amazing. You can have Spider-Punk masked or unmasked. It looks like everyone else will be, that you won't be able to alter their style, which is fine because in Spider-Man Noir you never take off, his mask essentially. But in Across the Spider-Verse, I don't think Peter B. Parker ever puts on the mask, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen it 3 or 4 times. But I don't think so.
It's so good. But man, I was trying to really milk Game Over, but I think we're just gonna head to Comic Corner and then we can just talk about whatever for.
Yeah, we do have some. Yeah, we did mistime this a little bit.
It's all right.
Yeah. So there's 2 weeks of comics since I wasn't here last week, so I didn't. So I've got 2 weeks to read. I haven't read everything, and I don't think you read anything.
No, I've been busy with finals.
We had some Superman stuff. Superman number 20 came out. We've got a Doomsday with Hellfire, and Superman and Superwoman being Lois Lane, they're fighting him, and there's there's cool things where there's a character from the Legion of Superheroes and future Superman stuff, time traveler, and they revealed that he's Doomsday and like the last issue, and because like Doomsday every time he dies, he like becomes invulnerable to that, and like now he's like trying to like die the last time and become a god. So there's cool stuff like that. It's written by it of course looks great because it's drawn by Joshua. It's drawn by Dan Mora, and everything he does looks amazing. This is issue 20 of Joshua Williamson's run, which doesn't sound that impressive, but there's like some stuff hinting to the future that like hinting to a future storyline that would have to be in this run in which Superman loses an eye patch. And it's like, I really want Joshua Williamson to stay on this book because I really want to see Pirate Clark Kent. Because it's great when a writer has plans for the future, like has like really long plans. That's like one thing I really liked about like the Tom King run, even though like I know not everyone loved that, but I do really think that that's great. And I want to see Clark Kent with an eye patch, and I want to see him try to explain to other Daily Planet employees how he and Superman like lost an eye at the same time. But also, also it's been a great 20 issues, and good luck to Josh Williamson. I hope that you stay on this book and they keep you on this book. So that's great. Also, Action Comics has stayed good. This is the weekly series. There's like a Superman story where he's dealing with like Krypton and the Phantom Zone, and some other stuff that are more obscure. And also there's a backup story with Supergirl. In the Superman family is also in both of these two, since there's a lot of people. There's a lot of Kryptonians in Metropolis nowadays. There's like 6. Not exactly a jumping on point, but it's very good. I've said this a couple of times. A couple of other people say this could end up being like, it's like a classic Superman story that 20 years from now people are like, oh, by the way, you should read like Phantoms by Mark Waid and Skylar and I forget the artist's name, but yeah, this is great. Read it. It's weekly, so I know that's a lot for some people, but it's worth it. And the art's great. Supergirl story by Mariko Tamaki is also pretty good. Justice League Unlimited #1 came out. Also by Mark Waid.
That looks fun.
And Dan Mora. This is kind of... You've seen Justice League Unlimited, right? The cartoon show?
Yep.
From like the 2000s, which is a lot of people's favorite thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the founding... That's like a founding father of my childhood right there.
Yeah, and kind of like the premise of that seems to be a lot of the premise of this Justice League run right now. That's why it's called Justice League Unlimited. That's why it has like a similar logo, where it's just like every superhero is part of the Justice League. Like every superhero that we can get to join the Justice League. I think Doom Patrol is like the only people that said no.
Oh.
Which like makes sense.
Right.
Like, I love Doom Patrol. Like, it's 100% within Robot Man's character to say, nah, we've got our own stuff that we need to deal with.
Yeah.
But, kind of exploring that and kind of giving, like, a more serialized... They're just dealing with problems and, like, trying to coordinate and stuff. Yeah. And there's Revelations. The art stays great because it's, once again, Dan Mora. And I'm excited for this. Mark Waid is a perennial Justice League writer, and he's going to... keep on writing that. We also have X-Men stuff. We have adjective lists. We have Uncanny X-Men #6, which has been, I think, my favorite issue so far. Like the outsiders, like the teenage mutants that join them, go to like a school and they have to deal with some of that stuff. And at the end of it, like some of them get kidnapped, and that leads into the Raid of Grey Malkin crossover with adjective list X-Men. That so far is good. This is a series that's been warming up on me. At first, I wasn't so sure.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then I think that the art was weird, and also I wasn't like really used to Jed McKay's writing either. And then like the Divine Segment art really grew on me. This is something I realized. It does really remind me of the Grant Morrison run from the early 2000s, where it's very much about the moment, and the art style was kind of like a bit for me to adjust, but I do recognize like there's a lot of like storytelling through the art that's done in a really that's done in a really good way that reminds me of Frank Quietly. So if you're Uncanny X-Men is probably the book to read if you're like, it's very beginner friendly, which is why I think that's the one that you stayed with.
Yep.
But if you're a big X-Men fan, I think I haven't heard very many people say this is their favorite. I don't know if it is my favorite, but it is very good. I do think it's worth a read. I also had NYX and X-Force. Those are two good books by the Hive Mind and Jeffrey Thorne. And they continue good. They continue to be good. NYX is new. Like it's a new story arc, and there's Dazzler and other characters in it that appear up that show up. Dazzler's like the Taylor Swift of the Marvel Universe right now, which is fun.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's why initially I thought she was going to be cast in the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, was because Taylor Swift is Dazzler and vice versa.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like, especially, like, even from, like, her early 80s stuff. Right. I remember reading it, and this was, like,
or, like, that was the before. Madonna. She was, like, the Madonna, probably.
I think it might have been before Madonna.
Well, right. I'm just saying, like, especially in the 80s, if you're...
Yeah, but like now that it's cool because there's like a lot of like now specific references because like the NYX group, which is like a lot of people in like there's Kamala Khan who's like 17, and then like the rest of the people are in their like early 20s.
Yeah.
Or I think Sophie's 19. And they're they're like college students and they're going to a Dazzler concert, and it's obviously meant to be a Taylor Swift concert with they have like the friendship bracelets and stuff like that. And then Mojo shows up and throws like a wrench in your stuff.
That seems like very Mojo.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, sometimes Mojo stories from me are like, you can take it or leave it.
I thought Mojo was really well done in X-Men 97.
I do think so.
That was entertaining.
It is a fun character and a fun like critique of like 80s television producers that unfortunately remains true.
Mojo and Deadpool would be so cool.
Huh?
Seeing Mojo and Deadpool interact.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
I think some people were thinking that's what Deadpool 3 was going to be.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. Then X-Force was also good. It's, Forge dealing with the death of the youngest member of the team in the last issue. And he's like in like his mind palace thingy and like talking to
like from Sherlock.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's weird because it's like technology based and then I don't know, it's really well written. I don't know how to like explain what happens to someone who's not reading it. If you're not reading it, probably doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And, it's very X-Men sci-fi stuff where it's just just go along with the ride.
Yeah.
But it's very good. It's if you really like the character Forge like me, then you will really like it. If you don't know that stuff, then you're kind of just like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
All right, that is what we have scheduled so far.
Well, hold on. I did find something that I really do want to talk about. So Marvel and Fortnite are in a bit of a showdown right now.
Okay.
Which is really weird because there's also a rumored collab between Marvel Rivals and Fortnite. Okay? Stay with me. They are relaunching Chapter 1 Season 1 tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? And tomorrow is also like the first actual full day that Marvel Rivals will release. Like, yes, it drops tonight, but some people might not play it tonight. Most people will be probably playing it tomorrow. So it's essentially Fortnite OG, which is essentially the thing I hate most about Fortnite right now is you can get all these weird power-ups and these super overpowered guns, and you can dominate everyone on the map, and I hate it. I hate it so much. I was talking with my friends, and they agree, like, there is some serious imbalance right now.
Yeah.
Back in the OG Fortnite, when I was playing, there was no super overpowered weapons. You got what you got, and you didn't throw a fit, right? Weapon rarities started from common, and they went to legendary. You didn't have to deal with anything too insane or, power-ups that just seemed ungodly. Everything was tame. No one was throwing energy balls, or no one had these swords or the ability to teleport. Like, it was just a gun game.
And also, if I remember correctly, there was just less on the map. Like, it was the same size, but there was less stuff.
And that was when life was simple.
Yeah, that's when I played it.
Right. And they're bringing it back. They're bringing back the very first map. Like, this was even before Tilted Towers. That's probably rare. Not a lot of people can remember life before Tilted Towers. Actually, I don't think I remembered life before Tilted Towers. Regardless, they're bringing it back, but they're probably fighting over... Not really fighting, but it's a tug of war between who's going to be more playing Marvel Rivals versus Fortnite.
What are you going to be playing?
I'm going to be playing Marvel Rivals. Okay. At least for the first 24 hours.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing Marvel Rivals because God knows how many hours of Fortnite I've poured into it. Just on my PlayStation alone. I'm not going to say the number because if I say the number, I'm going to be judged publicly for the amount of time I've put into Fortnite. So I'm going to put some time into Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
Because hopefully it's not going to end with me screaming at the television.
That's good.
Because, like, you can respawn in Marvel Rivals. Or at least I think you can. It's kind of like a respawn base. It's like, if all of your health goes down, you respawn, and you keep the game going. Whereas in Fortnite, you die, you go back to lobby, and yes, you can start playing again. But at least when you die, you can, like, keep playing, you know?
Yeah.
So yes, gamers are essentially going to be torn between OG Fortnite and Marvel Rivals, and I'm gonna have to give it to Marvel Rivals.
All right,
like it looks cool. Have you seen any of the gameplay trailers or like anything at all? Darn,
I don't play video games.
I know you don't, but it's just like it looks pretty good. I will have to at least have you over so you can at least play it and try it out, and you can be like, all right, I'll play this, because I don't think you're gonna be like, man, this game sucks.
Like, for a lot of this stuff, I'll probably more just like try it out at your house,
and that's
like,
fine.
Not like download it, because like I don't want to like spend a lot of time doing video games, because I already spend too much time doing other stuff. Well,
right, but it's just like, it's fun. You and I can shoot some people. You know, because you can do power ups together. Like, it does promote teamwork. Like, if like I'm Rocket and you're Groot, we can like team up and we can like interact with each other for an in-game power up. They do this with a lot of other people. Like, I think you can do the same thing with like Thor and Iron Man, or like I haven't seen this yet, but like Hulk and Wolverine. If Hulk can throw Wolverine, wouldn't that be cool?
Well, sure. I mean, it works better with Colossus and Wolverine.
Well, sure, but Colossus hasn't been added to the game yet.
Oh.
Yet. I say yet because unlike Overwatch, they keep teasing us and they keep giving us stuff that we want. I'm not trying to make this a diss on Blizzard games at all, but I just thought I would make it known.
There was some Comic Corner stuff I skipped over.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go for it.
Number one, and this is something you're interested in too. The Ultimate Wolverine number 1 trailer drop.
Yes.
Is that you said that's something you said that you were picking up, right?
Yes, I will be picking that up.
Yeah, so
because I love. Some people will diss on it and be like, I don't like the way the colors look, because they're going from the classic yellow and blue to like a gray and red, black and red, gray, black and red.
And the premise, I believe, is Wolverine is acting as the Winter Soldier for the Maker, who is like
which is so exciting.
It's complicated, but also like he's the bad guy of the Ultimate Universe right now, and he was like Reed Richards in the old Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's going to be exciting. And also, quick shout out. We forgot to shout out Aya Comics, where we bought our comics. Thank you for sending comics to us. But 25th anniversary of Powers by Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming is this winter, and they have a special issue. Like it's a cool detective mystery by Bendis and Oeming, and it's been out of it hasn't been ongoing for a long time, but we have a special issue. So that's cool. Okay. I'd encourage people to check that out.
Yeah.
And maybe read Powers if you're into that kind of stuff. All right. Thank you everyone very much.
We will jump
for your time.
Yeah, we're gonna see you right back here next Thursday, for our semester finale. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it'll be a year in review.
Yeah, year in review. That's a good way of putting it. So, catch us next week. WCRD 91.3 FM next Thursday, 3 p.m. Be there. Bye.